So I think.
All right. This is Elroy Cyrus. That's Rob, Danny, Malcolm.
Yo.
Bro? What's up? That bark. Super Chicken Chasers. And we are here to talk about the new Pokemon game that's coming in October.
Pokemon X and Y.
and Pokemon Y.
I honestly think that Pokemon, when they had their conference, they said, "Alright, guys, we've used way too many colors. Maybe we should start using letters now."
And to be fair, they were running out of gems and jewels to use. Diamond, Pearl, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Zirconium. That's next. Pokemon Zirconium, Generation 7.
I think based on the information that we have now about Pokemon and just the little teasers that we saw, I think it's going to be really, really good. Because, I mean, that's one thing about Pokemon is that it's very consistent with the quality of their games. One thing I think, it's very easy to see this type of dynamic for a handheld system into the whole 3D. And I don't know, I kind of feel like it's an illusion because we've seen Pokemon 3D before. They've had 3D Pokemon games on GameCube.
Stadium.
So we know
And the
Yellow
Pokemon.
Darkness.
And the Pokemon.
The one for the Wii nobody
DX.
played?
Yeah.
No, the Pokemon
Battles,
Pokedex
Stadium.
3D.
Yeah, so we
Pokemon 3D.
know what it's capable of doing because it's been on systems that have more capabilities than the handheld system. But the 3DS is pretty, the capabilities that it has is pretty much better than GameCube in that sense, I guess. But
What's impressive, I think, about it, like on top of that, that's worth mentioning is I was reading on IGN. They put an interesting article. Like you brought up the Pokedex. IGN was saying how the Pokedex had officially now had filled up every single Pokemon from the first generation to the fifth, and that they think that that'll probably be the model for the game, which they apparently were right about. But I think what's even cooler about it, when we think about it, is nobody, including IGN, and they stated it in this article, thought that the next generation will come so soon.
Yeah, I mean...
Specifically because Black and White 2 just came out.
Last October.
So they really didn't have to rush it. And you look at how many generations there are. I think there's how much? Have we broken 600 yet?
We've been past 600.
We've been past 600.
So it's the first generation. That's Kanto, right? Johto, second. Third is Hoenn.
Yeah, Sinnoh and then Nova.
That's the sixth generation.
Yeah, so just considering how much is already just considering how many Pokemon exist and how many different regions and stuff exist, when you think about it, they can space the time between games even more, like the further along they go. So I think that was just impressive seeing that they have a fully 3D world, not just the battles, just everything about it. It must have been in development sequence for a minute.
Right.
They're probably working on it while they were working on Black and White too.
Right.
I want to make another point just to add on to that.
No.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe.
Shut
No.
up.
Yes. It's a yes. Okay.
Go.
All right.
Go.
I wanted to say that just specifically the 3D graphics. Yes, we've seen Coliseum 3D graphics. We've seen a bunch of Pokemon video games on GameCube. But I think the one thing that makes that makes X and Y special is the fact that we feel like it's the 2D Pokemon world that everybody knows and loves, and in a very 3D landscape.
Right.
Not as opposed to Coliseum where it feels like, everything's larger than life. It's like they really take advantage of that. But we really feel like we're looking at something 2D and we can see it from all angles now. Like, you ever look at something 2D and like, oh, I wish I could see it from this angle or this angle. Like, they definitely took advantage of that for the handheld system. It's very, very... It still feels like Pokemon. It doesn't feel like it's so overwhelming that to the point where you're like, I think they did a little bit too much.
One more interjection on that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, not really giving you guys much time to talk. But one thing he just really reminded me of, that's also a really good point to bring up that a lot of people should really appreciate if they're not really thinking about it yet. Because it's just sinking in with me too. We've had 3D games before. We've had Coliseum and Stadium, but they've never played in the traditional Pokemon sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You don't go into the
there's always been a deal. Like, you got to start with an Eevee, or you can only catch the Shadow ones. There's never been traveling the Pokemon world, catching what you want to catch, the way you want to catch it, raising them to evolve the way you want. There's always been some kind of catch to it. Yeah. And I've always kind of been one to say like they should have the handheld ones function the way that they did, because the handhelds have been good, but they should be releasing some on the system to coordinate with that function in the regular way that the handhelds.
Yes.
Instead, they're just doing it all on the handheld, which is fine too. But it's just I think it's worth noting that they're doing it that way, because I think that's really cool. People are gonna appreciate that, I think, more with time as they realize how much further immersed they're going to be able to be in the world because of that.
All right.
Sorry.
No, for the new generation. The 3 new starters: Fennekin, Froakie, and I keep forgetting the last one.
Alvin.
Chespin.
Chespin.
Alvin is Chespin.
the three new starters for this new generation of X and Y. What do you guys think? Like, I personally think they look good. They look good. I mean, because the last generation, I was like, eh. Because the last generation, for me, I think they had like one of the ugliest Pokemon.
Generation
weirdest-
5
Yeah,
stuff.
it was Generation 5.
Tepig. The one that black and white.
No, not the starters. Not the starters. Not the starters, but
Just the Pokemon in
yeah,
general.
just the Pokemon in general. Like,
Yeah,
we
I
had-
don't
yeah.
know. For Alligator, was pretty fucking ugly.
yeah, I mean,
I think there's always one really ugly one. There's
Yeah, like-
from the minute
But
he
guys-
was Totodile, he looked retarded. You know? Everybody jumped the
I think-
But to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
fair though, garbage Pokemon, ice cream Pokemon.
I was just about to say that.
yeah, that,
Garbodor, they could have got
Yeah.
way more creative than that.
I mean,
I don't know. I feel like sometimes people complain as the generations go on, not really considering how much has been away from the jump. Venusaur looked like a very ugly fat kid in high school, like with bad acne. Like from the moment it was Bulbasaur, like it was the cute ugly kid, then it became the adult ugly nerd who's like likes little
cousin.
boys. Yeah. And then like as far as like ridiculous Pokemon, yeah, we complain about Garbodor, but it has to be considered more creative than Muck. He's purple Muck.
Yeah, that's
He's
it.
purple Muck. He's like Muck. That's it. Like somebody said, we need more Pokemon. So I said, Muck. That's okay.
although to be fair, like which one are you going to be willing to throw into battle? Like a garbage bag or a bunch of poisonous slime? At least a poisonous slime is going to make your enemy's Pokemon sick, so you can win a battle.
But I don't know what's inside that garbage bag with eyes. It's a garbage bag. Keep in mind, it's a bag with a face. We don't know what's underneath. So and it does smell bad. They say very bad. So I don't know what's.
You have like a bunch of mucks and grinders in there.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it could be made of mucks.
and that's a living thing.
Yeah, for all
That's a living
And
thing.
to be fair, muck spelled backwards is something you don't want to mess with. So
I
got
think
it.
we pretty much covered like most of the information that was given to us.
Yeah.
wait,
I
no,
mean-
the legendaries.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
What about listeners?
No,
The Y-shaped bird and
Their names are out. I forgot what it was.
yeah. I mean,
Y
It's
something.
very hard to
something.
pronounce.
It's
Yeah,
Zex.
annoying.
I don't know.
Yeah, one of them is I'm not going
all right, so the one that's shaped as a Y and one that's shaped, well, the head is like an X.
Yeah, the
And
X-shaped one is the deer, and the
Yeah.
Y-shaped one is the flying one, which was confusing because the deer could easily pass for a Y itself. It's not like
Yeah.
his legs or
Just put his legs like. Although the deer Pokemon has X's in its eye, it's really hard to miss.
Oh, okay.
It's really easy to miss,
Oh,
but
yeah, because I didn't see that.
it took me a few
Like
views.
Pokemon Sharingan.
No, I did not notice that. I'll check that out later, actually.
Yeah,
just
like he
released
has
the
blue
official
X's
screen
in his
capture.
eye. It's
As far as graphics too, it's worth pointing out. I was watching because I know everybody's seen the announcement trailers. They say that the visuals look good even in the screen caps, but because on the DS the screen is it's more fit. It's going to be more fit to size on the 3DS, so the graphics are going to look a lot sharper in the final edition than they do in the
Yeah.
screen caps, which is really cool because they already look good.
and speaking of graphics, like the 3DS is more powerful than people want to believe. I mean, think about it. The DS a generation back was able to take Mario 64, a favorite game, polish the graphics, and make it cool, update it,
And make it touchscreen.
and make a touchscreen. So if we could make a generation back, make better a Generation 5 game, like people have been waiting for a 3D Pokemon, and now that we have the 3DS, we can finally get that, and it should be cool. It looks like Pokemon, it acts like Pokemon, and it's just gonna be a straight up cool game. And they have the technology to make it cool.
Can I ask you guys something?
Yeah.
On that point, it's funny you say that because I was on Facebook and somebody put a link to something about the new Pokemon games on their Tumblr.
Mm.
And it was like it was a bunch of like gifs of people like reacting to different generations, and it starts like Generation 1. The guy's like, Mount Handheld Pokemon games. Picture somebody like something like that, like a thumbs up, smiling. Generation 2, 3, 4, and it like kept up. But by the time it was on 4, the guy was like, oh. Then when it got to 5, he's like crying, and then on 6, it's like he's killing himself. So it was like, the complaint is that 3D is too much of a shift from what it is, or too much of a shift from the familiar.
Mhm.
So it's like apparently there are people who feel like you're going 3D is like the wrong move. Like it's too different from what
I don't understand why though, because there's so many other franchises that are very, very well known, like Zelda, for instance, that has gone
From
that
2D.
made that 3D transition for Nintendo 64.
There's a lot of games
Yeah.
that did that.
Mario made a good
too.
transition. Zelda made a
pretty much
good.
anything that's
Sonic
set up.
took like 3 generations, but he finally made a good transition.
I agree. I like that it's moved into 3D, but I guess I can kind of understand the point. So when you think about it, Pokemon could have come out of that sprite phase a long time ago.
Yeah.
Even on the advance, it wouldn't have been. I don't know.
No.
Maybe on the slightly. You know, it's the bits that the sprites are in are at a point where they could have been out of this phase a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like that. At least that much is on the base.
I mean,
And
the
I think the
advances.
fact that they've stayed in it is something that people have kind of assumed. Some people have kind of assumed was intentional because that's the feel of it. You know, like Minecraft is a huge hit,
Yeah.
and the graphical design of that is very much intentional. And you know, even Mega Man, like when they go back to Mega Man at this point, they make them back to like 8-bit or 16-bit. You know, there are certain games that people just prefer to keep them. It's kind of like what makes it sacred. You know, Golden Sun. There's just certain like, especially on handhelds, it's very much something that's done on handhelds. Keeping like a sprite image with it. So I guess I can understand where people are coming from, but I don't know, I guess the debate at that point becomes tradition versus evolution.
Yeah, that's
Right,
right.
yeah. And I was gonna make a point on that too, because I think a real good example that I was thinking about was when they did Final Fantasy 13, and well, Final Fantasy's been 3D since Final Fantasy 7, but the thing was with Final Fantasy 13, they took a lot of stuff out. They took exploring. It was very linear. And it just didn't feel like the traditional Final Fantasy. And I think one of the most important things, and the people that are behind Pokemon, they're very smart. They know what they're doing. They know what the fans want. So it's like there's always going to be a handful of people that are not going to agree with the evolution of a franchise because they're so used to what it is. You know, they don't want to see a change. They want to get exactly what it is and with just a new story. But I think one thing that's really, really good about Pokemon X and Y is that it's making a transition, but it's still keeping all the same elements that every Pokemon game has, just with a different look.
But I think
I mean,
I think it's too.
It looks like it's still driving the same path, but just with a brand new car.
Yeah. And the things that
there you
they've
go.
shown to have changed seem to be really minor. Like I think that they changed like the bike and the rollerblades and all. But I mean, that's like, well, who's that going to affect? You know.
But the thing is, like, there are people who always there are people that probably haven't played Pokemon games since Red and Blue. There are people that swear Red and Blue was the only good one. They're just people that are afraid of change. They're afraid to see a precious thing from their childhood change into something that could or could not be better. And I just think people just need to let the game grow. Pokemon's been 2D for 5 generations. Let it grow into 3D.
I'm definitely gonna buy X and Y.
I already have my 3DS.
Yes. At October, I know that.
And I'm definitely gonna try to buy a 3DS so I can maybe buy X or Y.
And
Yeah,
I'm definitely, probably, hopefully not going to be broke by then. So,
You have till October. This is January right now.
all right, I'll save a penny a day, and eventually I'll get there.
All right.
And I definitely hope that you guys like this video.
And I'm definitely glad Rob's not in this final shoot.
Oh, I'm gonna be in it.
And I think he definitely will be.
And darn it.
All right.